Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be discussing a number of new makeup products that I have been trying out over the past few months. So in my last video I talked about face products and cheek products, and in this video I'm going to be talking about lip products, eye products, palettes, and skincare products. And these are all products that have been released over the past 4 months, so in spring or early summer 2023. Included in this will be my first time trying on the new lipstick color from Eldridge in the shade Velvet Bloom, as well as quite a few other products that I am feeling excited about. So first, a little bit of information about me. I'm 58 years old and I have dry and sensitive skin. And over the past 2 years, I've tried on more than 1,000 makeup and skincare products. I tend to spend only 5 to 10 minutes per day putting on makeup, so I want everything that I put on my face to really perform well for me. There are certain ingredients that I have found have always irritated my skin, so I don't use products that contain those ingredients, but otherwise I'm really open to products from a variety of brands when I'm considering products to share on this channel. So I thought I would start out by talking about palettes, and the first one that I will talk about is this little palette from Caliray, and this is a neutral type of a palette. So all of the colors in this are ones that can really be worn anywhere on the face. So even though some of them seem to be more designed for cheeks, you could also use these on your eyes. And there's some here that I have used as a powder. So I think that this is a good palette to use if you want to just have a palette that you bring along with you sort of for emergencies or for travel purposes. This is what I put on my face today, and so in addition to just using a little bit of concealer, an eyebrow pencil, and a lipstick, this is all that I put on my face today, and I have some mascara on also. So I think that you're really not going to get a bright look from this palette, but I do think that this is a good one and done palette, and then a lot of people are really looking for really kind of neutral palettes that are not going to do anything bright, but that will make them look a little bit better for work or casual wear, and I think that this one could be a good choice for that. This palette is from the company Caliray, and that was founded by the founder of Urban Decay. So she seems to have moved more on to working on Caliray now. And Urban Decay was always known for its palette called the Nakeds, and that was a palette that a lot of people that are on YouTube tend to kind of ignore because they think it's kind of boring, but it's always been a really big seller. And I feel like this palette is doing fairly well also. It has ingredients that look pretty good to me. It has not irritated my face at all. Usually I don't use palettes that are quite so neutral, especially when I'm on camera, but I think for everyday use this is a very versatile palette that a lot of people might really enjoy. And the next palette that I want to talk about is one that is also very neutral and kind of pretty looking. So this is from a company called Doll 10, and this is called the Doll Squad 2.0 palette. So it has 12 shades in it. And to my understanding, and from what I've seen on other YouTube channels, this is very similar to the Ethereal Eyes palette that was released by Makeup by Mario last year, and that was sold out almost immediately, and that has become almost a legend in the makeup world. So this palette is still listed on the Makeup by Mario site, so I think they may be planning to re-release it, but it hasn't come out again. And I saw someone, a YouTuber named Jen Phelps, and one of these colors in here is actually named after her. But she swatched all of these colors in a video in comparison to the Makeup by Mario shades, and I do think that they looked very similar. On the other hand, this palette is not containing any talc at all, so that makes it more appropriate for some people than the Makeup by Mario one. It is made in Italy. The ingredients look good to me. I've used this quite a few times, and it has performed well for me in terms of not being irritating and also in terms of creating a nice soft look. This is what I would consider to be kind of like wedding makeup palette. So it's very soft. You do have a variety of different shades here, so you can get slightly different looks from it, but you're not going to get anything dramatic, but you're not going to get anything that really is going to make you look weird either. So if you're looking for something that's really soft, I think that this is a pretty nice palette at a good value. And then the other eyeshadow palette that I tried out recently was from the Sephora collection. So this is called the Sephora Collection Color Shifter Mini Eyeshadow Palette. This cost only $10, so I'm like, I looked at the ingredient list. I thought the ingredient list looked fine in terms of not containing anything that I thought would be problematic for me. So I'm like, well, why not give it a shot? It has these green colors in it, and I'm kind of a big fan of green eyeshadow palettes. Unfortunately, what I found was that this was quite annoying to my eyes and that I wasn't able to wear it at all. And then I looked at the label on the package, and it does say made in China. And what I heard recently was that there have been some experiences of big companies that have contracted with companies in China to manufacture makeup for them, and it turned out when they had an analysis done that the makeup that they got from China was actually not containing the same ingredients that it was supposed to. So I don't know how common that is in China, and it seems that maybe there's not as good of regulation in China as should be the case. In general, my experiences with the Sephora collection products has not been very good. I've tried quite a few of these makeup products, and I haven't found that any of them were ones that I wanted to use. I do really like their brushes. So for instance, this is a Sephora Pro Collection brush, and I think this has been terrific for me. But in terms of the makeup so far, I'm not having success with those products, even though they are inexpensive and even though a lot of those ingredient lists look like they should be things that I'm able to tolerate. So now let's move on to a few palettes that are not new in terms of the formulas, but that are new in terms of the shades. So the first one that I have here is from Mob Beauty, and it is being sold through Credo. So this is a collection that contains a cream play blush, a hyaluronic highlighting balm, and then 4 eyeshadow colors. And this is a palette that's really designed to be an introduction to Mob Beauty, so it's considerably less expensive than it would cost if you were to buy these products individually or even as a palette on the Mob Beauty site. It has colors in it that really seem like they should be appropriate for just about anybody to wear. So I will try putting on a little bit of this cream play blush on top of my skin. I tried this palette on in a little bit more depth at the beginning of my recent video on Credo, so if you're interested in this palette, you might want to take a look at that. Now, even more exciting to me is this collection of different kinds of products from Mob Beauty. So I have put together a bunch of these colors that are all from the Spring Goth line in this palette here. So what we have are a couple of new blush shades, which I talked about in my last video, and I have 7 eyeshadow shades, and then I have 1 eyeliner shade. So this is called the Spring Goth collection, and it is developed by a makeup artist who has a kind of a goth following. But I think that these colors are so interesting and so subtle that they really work very well on me. So I think that what I'm going to do is to a new video just on this Spring Goth line, because I think that of everything that's been released this year, this is actually my favorite collection, and it's gotten almost no attention at all. So I think it deserves a whole video on its own. But I would highly recommend this particular either palette, which is quite expensive if you buy all of these things, or you can buy any of these shades individually. And I think that just buying a couple of the eyeshadows together, and I think this eyeliner is also very nice, just a couple of these eyeshadow shades can create a really interesting look. Now, another really popular line of eyeshadows that I only very recently tried were these little eye bento shadows from Kaja. So this is a Korean brand, and it has gotten a lot of positive attention. And I have never tried those in the past because they contained talc, but finally I heard enough good things about them, and I spent enough time looking at the ingredients list that I thought, well, it doesn't look like there's anything problematic in this product except for the talc, and the talc is not the main ingredient in these, and I think that talc is probably mostly an issue if I'm going to be breathing it in, which I probably wouldn't do with these eyeshadows, and so therefore is worth giving it a try. So I thought that I would just swatch this new one. So this is the shade Forest Night. So here are those three colors. And I think these are really pretty. They've been really pretty on my eyes. I haven't reacted to them at all. So falling in the same category as the Kaja eyeshadows in my mind are the Nars eyeshadows. So in general, Nars has become a brand that has become very, very quietly moved towards a clean beauty ingredient list. So they don't say anything about clean beauty anywhere that I've been able to tell. And they don't even mention what their ingredients are on their website. But nonetheless, all of the releases that they have come out with over both 2022 and 2023, and there have been a lot of them, they all have ingredient lists that seem perfectly fine to me and that would meet clean beauty based on pretty much anyone's standards. And I have used all of these products and they've all been fine for me and not caused any irritation at all. So I'm really impressed with that. However, with regard to the eyeshadows, their eyeshadows also seem fine to me, except for the fact that they do still include talc. So they haven't reformulated them yet, at least, to take the talc out. And they periodically come out with new collections of eyeshadows that are different looks or different color stories, as people say. So I did pick up one of these just to give it a try to see how I tolerated this. And this is the new Laguna. This is called the Laguna collection. So this is all of 4 totally neutral, sort of bronzy type eyeshadows. I swatched these on my hand. You can see that they give a very neutral but kind of a summery look. And these have worked fine for me. I haven't had any irritation. So as with all of the Nars products, they're really working perfectly fine for me. Whereas the older Nars products do cause me irritation, so I don't use those. Now let's move on to single eyeshadows, and this has really been the year of the eyeshadow stick. The first one, which I did almost a whole video on, is the Victoria Beckham one. So these are called Eyewear. So I have swatched here the first two at the top. The first one at the top is Caramel, and then the next one is the shade Bottle Green. So those are two colors that I found to be really attractive on my eyes and that I have really enjoyed using. These have a lot of long-lasting staying power on, so when you put these on, they look very nice and they kind of stay there until you take them off with some kind of a special makeup remover. So that can be convenient, and I've gotten some use out of those. I really do like them quite a lot, and they have not been irritating to my eyes at all. Now at the bottom here, this is a color from Hourglass, so they also came out with a line of eyeshadow sticks in a number of different colors. All of those are kind of on the shimmery side and the light side, so they all kind of are giving you the same look with just a very slight difference in terms of the actual color. Whereas the Victoria Beckham ones, they have some shimmery ones, they have some matte ones, and then there's some that are kind of bright colors. So there's a pink one and a yellow one, so there's a lot more diversity in that one. The Hourglass ones, as far as I can tell, the ingredient list looked perfectly fine. For the Victoria Beckham ones, the ingredient list also looked fine to me, except for the shade Oyster, which is a sparkly kind of a champagne color, which does have aluminum powder in it, so I'm avoiding that one. But I found for the Victoria Beckham ones that they did not irritate my eyes. I did find for this Hourglass one that it was slightly irritating to my eyes, so I am not going to be certainly buying any more of those. I'm not not sure what it is in the ingredient list that is irritating to me, but I haven't had a lot of success with Hourglass products in the past, so this one has not changed my mind about that company. Rituel de Fille has a line of Ash and Ember eye soot, so they put all of these eyeshadows in new containers with wider openings so that you can put your finger in there, or they also introduced a brush that makes it very easy to apply these eyeshadows, and they introduced 3 new shades. Those are among my favorite one and done eyeshadows, the eye soots. They have a really pretty look on the eye. So if you're at all interested in that, then you want to take a look at my Rituel de Fille video, because I go into those eyeshadows in considerable depth, and I am a big fan of those. Now let's talk about eyeliners. So there have been 2 new eyeliners released over the past few months that I've been especially interested in. The first one is from Westman Atelier, and this is just a plain sharpenable eyeliner. It is available in 2 colors, and it's called the I Love You pencil. So I will put a little bit of this on just so that you can take a look at it. Let's see if I can do this in this mirror. So my experience with this eyeliner is that it performs perfectly fine. It's not any sort of a problem. I haven't experienced any irritation with it. Unlike most eyeliner pencils of this type, it doesn't include any cottonseed oil, so that is good, because I do think that cottonseed oil is a really problematic ingredient for me, because it includes usually a lot of contamination from agricultural chemicals such as glyphosate. So this one does not include that. It doesn't irritate my eyes. It doesn't exactly set down, but it also seems to hold up pretty well throughout the rest of the day. So I've been happy about that. However, I feel like this other eyeliner that is from Roen, that this has worked out much better for me and been much more impressive. So I feel like this is very, very similar to the eyeliner that is from Caliray. And almost indistinguishable, and it looks like it's probably from the same factory in Germany, and I've been really impressed with this. It doesn't have any ingredients in it that I think should be problematic, and it hasn't caused any irritation. It goes on very, very easily, and it stays really, really well. So this is available in 4 colors, and the one that I have here is a dark brown color, and I think that that has been perfectly fine for me. It has not caused any irritation. I think it's gone on really well. It's lasted really well. The other shades, however, there's one shade that's like a gray or a silvery type color, and that one does have aluminum powder in it, or it says that it might have aluminum powder on the ingredient list. But it looks like the other pencil should be fine, and I'm interested in picking up especially that bronze one. And the other eyeliner that I have kind of discovered recently and been really, really impressed with is this cake eyeliner from Beauty. So this comes in, I think, 5 or 6 different shades total. So this one, which is a peacock green, it's part of that Spring Goth collection again. But I feel like this has been a particularly interesting color for me. It's supposed to be the color of faded tattoo ink, which means that it's not very bright and that it pretty much goes with any look that I am thinking about putting together. And it might be slightly interesting, more so than brown, but it's also quite subtle, but I think it's really pretty on my eyes. And amazingly, especially if I use the Mob Beauty brush, this goes on super, super easily. So, and here's the little brush that they sell, and I think it's well worth it to buy this little brush if you're interested in experimenting with their eyeliner. But I think that I can really highly recommend this cake eyeliner, because it goes on much more smoothly than I would have thought, and actually more easily for me than eyeliner pencils do. And I think it's less likely to be irritating than eyeliner pencils, and that all in all it has held up really well for me. And I think that's kind of a breakthrough product for them. So in terms of eyebrow pencil, the first one is from Ilia. So this is called Ilia in Full Micro Tip Eyebrow Pencil. This is available in 8 shades, and that is what I put on my eyebrows today. I also put on a little bit of eyebrow gel in conjunction with that. My experience with Ilia is that really everything that they produce, just about, I have found to be adequate, but I haven't found there to be really any standout products that I have felt like were the best in category, and I would say that this is the case for this eyebrow pencil as well. I also tried out a new pencil from Victoria Beckham, which is called the Baby Blade Eyebrow Pencil for $34. That one comes in 6 shades. The thing that happened for me when I tried out this is that the first thing when I tried it on, it broke. That was in I think my Mob Beauty video, so you can take a look at that if you want. I've used it a few times since then. I seem to have misplaced it, and I didn't even realize that I missed it until I was looking to pull together everything for this video today. So it hasn't been something that I've been very excited about. I think that for my own eyebrows, which are very, very sparse, I wouldn't be able to use that without also using an eyebrow gel with it. So now let's move on to lipsticks. And the first one that I want to talk about is the Pat McGrath Satin Lipstick, which is $30. This was just released a few months ago, and I have seen very few people talk about it. I think that the reason for that is because a lot of people are not very impressed with the case for the lipstick. So I feel like this is a full-size lipstick, but that the case is a little bit on the inexpensive side, and that the reason for this is because they wanted to bring down the price somewhat and to still maintain the quality of the product. So I'm very enthusiastic about this lipstick, but I will admit that the case is not as fancy as the ones for the matte lipsticks, but the matte lipsticks are much more expensive, and I would rather have a really good lipstick in a case that is not really very expensive or extravagant than a poor quality lipstick in a really nice case. But maybe I'm in the minority on that. So this particular shade is called Metallica, so I will go ahead and put that on. So I think this is kind of a gorgeous lipstick, and compared to the matte lipsticks from Pat McGrath, or compared to most matte lipsticks, I think this one is very easy wearing. It feels reasonably hydrating on my lips. I think it looks really pretty and kind of elegant looking, and I like this color. So I would be actually interested in getting more of these lipsticks, and I think that they've really been underestimated in terms of what a good formula they are. There's no flavor, they haven't irritated my lips at all, and I've done really well with this one. Another new lipstick release that I have really liked is from Beautycounter. So this is the Beautycounter Clean Swipe Hyaluronic Lip Balm for $22. And there are 4 shades in this, including clear. I have one that's called Bitten, which is a kind of a berry type shade. So I'll go ahead and put that on. I think that this feels really good on my lips. I think it gives some nice color, which is very attractive, and it's quite hydrating. I do think there's the hyaluronic acid is working really well in this one. I would be interested in trying the other shades, although I kind of doubt that I will like them as much as this darker red shade. The other ones are kind of more on the pink side. There's no unpleasant flavor in this lipstick as far as I'm concerned. It might be a tiny little bit sweet. So I feel that of the products that Beautycounter has released, that this one is actually one of my favorite makeup products of all, and I think I will continue to wear this on a fairly frequent basis. Another line of new lipstick are the Kosas Wet Sticks, which are $24, and there are 12 shades. Almost all of these shades look like they are a kind of a muted, your lips but better type shades. They're in different undertones, but I don't feel like these lipsticks are really a dramatic color. I think that all of the 3 shades that I've gotten have been pretty on my lips. So let me put on one. This is the color Papaya Treat. So I feel like these lipsticks are fairly hydrating for my lips. I don't feel like they're as good for my lips as that Beautycounter one, but I do feel like they're pretty good for my lips and that they look attractive on there. They don't stay on my lips for very long. They're the kind of lipsticks that get eaten off pretty fast, but they're so fast to put on that that's not of real concern to me. They do have kind of a vanilla taste, artificial vanillin, so that is something that's not incredibly appealing to me, but it doesn't irritate my lips, I don't think, and it doesn't keep me from wearing them. The next lipstick that I have here is the Nars Afterglow Sensual Shine Hydrating Lipstick for $32. So I think that this is sort of like a lip balm in that it's sheer, but it has a good bit of color in it. I have the color Truth or Dare, so I will go ahead and put that on. So this lipstick looks pretty bright when I first put it on, but then if even a few minutes go by, it tends to mute down really fast. So I'm going to try to blot my lips and then I'll show you what it looks like. So even with one little blot, pretty much all the color is gone now, but it still feels good on my lips. I like this formula. I wouldn't mind trying another shade. Now, Beautycounter just released a second lip product, and it is the Beautycounter Statement Maker Satin Lipstick for $35, and it is available in 14 shades. I have the shade Brave, which is a warm pink. I feel like this formula is fairly similar to the Sheer Genius Conditioning Lipstick, except it's a little bit more matte. It seems to last a little bit longer. Unfortunately, I have never really liked that lipstick very much in terms of how it tastes to me. It has a lot of vanillin in it as well as real vanilla, but that I don't think is the issue for me. It's that there's some kind of an unpleasant taste that's underneath the vanillin that I'm not really liking. And this one seems to be exactly the same. So I'm kind of disinclined to wear it at all for that reason, but I will put it on. I think it looks okay and it goes on reasonably smoothly. It's a fairly hydrating lipstick, especially for one that's fairly matte. So let me show you what this looks like. And I do think that this is a little bit drying for my lips if I leave it on for very long, or more just maybe slightly irritating rather than drying. And then one more new formula that I have tried out recently is the Lawless Forget the Filler Tinted Lip Balm. This is a product that is from Lawless, which is sort of a clean beauty company, and which is known for their Forget the Filler liquid lip balm. This one is new and it's in the lip balm formula, so I will try it on. So this is supposed to be a lip plumping formula, which means that it has something that's slightly irritating in it. And whatever it is in it that's slightly irritating, I don't feel like I really like very much, either in terms of the taste or in terms of it feeling just a tiny little bit stinging to my lips. Now, I think that compared to a lot of lip plumping products, this one is not as bad, but it doesn't seem to be something that I feel very enthusiastic about. I don't really feel that my lips need to be plumped. I know that they're very thin and that it's more in style to have thicker lips, but I think that my lips are fine and that they don't need something on it that's being mildly irritating and causing blood to rush to the surface. So now let's talk about new shades of existing lipstick lines. And the one lipstick that I really enjoyed using last winter was the red lipstick from Merit. So this is the Merit Signature Lip Lightweight Lipstick, which cost $26. And they introduced, as part of a holiday collection of products, a shade called Aperitif, which they say is a true red. And I had never worn red lipstick lipsticks before, but I was really interested in this because I felt like if there was one lipstick that was going to be kind of muted and wearable for me, it might be the Merit lipsticks, because I found that I was able to wear all of the other Merit lipstick shades, even in the ones that were more on the berry side. So I purchased this and I really liked it. I did a couple of TikTok videos, I think, on this, and so I am really happy to see that they have re-released this, at least for a short time over the summer, to be sold individually. So I will go ahead and try this on. I think as red lipsticks go, this one is particularly easygoing. It goes on, as you see, really, really easily without requiring me to make a lot of adjustments in it. And I think that it's kind of a more mellow shade. So really for Christmas especially, but also for summer or really any time of the year, I think that this is quite a lovely shade. And I think it probably would be good on almost anyone. It's kind of what I would think of as like a tart cherry red, which is kind of flattering and doesn't make me feel like I'm pretending to be someone else when I wear it. Now the next one that I have here is a new lipstick from Eldridge in her True Velvets line, and this is the color Velvet Bloom, and it is a kind of a pinkish red color. I will go ahead and put that on and then I will talk about it. This one seems to be sort of halfway between the Eldridge Velvet Enchantment and the Eldridge Velvet Pompadour. So the Velvet Enchantment is one that I do have, and I don't have really good lighting right now because it has decided to rain, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell the difference between these two shades. But at the top here, I have Velvet Bloom, and then the one underneath it is Velvet Enchantment. So I think that even with this lighting, which is not optimal, you can tell that this one is considerably less brown than the Velvet Enchantment. I bought the Velvet Enchantment because Eldridge said that that's a lipstick that is good for people that don't think they can wear red lipstick, and I think that it's worked okay for me. I've gotten some wear out of that. This one's a little bit brighter, and I still think that it's not nearly as overwhelming to my face as a true red lipstick might be, but it does it does give me that pop of bright type of a color that I think brings a little bit of life to my face. I think that as I get older, I think that red lipsticks are actually looking nicer on me, so I'm a little bit inclined to wear them, and this one's very nice. Now, one thing I will say about the Eldridge Velvet lipsticks and also the Insanely Saturated lipsticks, which is a very similar formula, is that these tend to be kind of on the fragile side. So I've had a couple of them, two of them, break for me almost immediately after I got them. So I got the lipsticks, I wore them once or twice, and then I opened the package and the lipsticks were just broken. And the people from Eldridge told me that this is because the lipsticks are somewhat fragile because they contain so much pigment and that they can get jostled, and then they immediately sent me new versions of them. And I haven't had any problems with the other lipsticks that I have purchased from them, but that is maybe because I treat them very, very gently and don't actually bring them out of the house. So therefore those have not broken. I think that a Eldridge lipstick would still be usable even if it were broken. I would be willing to use it with either my fingers or with a brush, even if it was broken, because I do like the colors and I like the formula so much, and it tastes really good to me. It feels really good. It doesn't seem to irritate my lips. It seems to be good for my lips. So all of these things seem to be really important to me, but I will say that these are a little bit on the fragile side. I've done better with her Luxuriously Lucent lipsticks. Those seem to be much sturdier. So Jones Road also has a line of lip tints that I have been very enthusiastic about. These are fairly small little lipsticks that don't have any flavor. They taste really good to me. They're very easygoing in terms of being hydrating and nice to put on and easy to reapply, and they look kind of pretty. The original shades were all quite bright, and so some people thought that those were great and other people felt like those shades were not very flattering for them. And so more recently, Bobbi Brown, who is the owner of Jones Road, came out with another 4 shades that are designed to be more muted. And so these are the 4 new ones. So you can see that they're all fairly wearable, fairly kind of neutral shades. I'm going to put on the one at the bottom for you, which is a shade called Just Pinky. I think it's a really pretty formula, and it's the kind of lipstick that you can just throw in your purse. It has held up really well for me, and I've really enjoyed using it. So if you're the sort of person that doesn't want to take lipstick real seriously, and doesn't want to baby your lipsticks the way that I have to baby those Lisa Eldridge lipsticks, then this is a very good formula for you. And then Haus Labs also has a line of lipsticks, or more specifically lip crayons. So these are called Le Monster. And again, these also came out with mostly bright shades to begin with, and then they added another 4 shades earlier this year. So I have felt like these Le Monster lip crayons in general have been very highly underestimated in terms of people paying attention to them. I find that these have worked really, really well for me. They go on really nicely. They create a nice, neat lip without any effort at all. They feel good to me. They taste good to me. I feel like they're pretty good for my lip. So the shades that I have here, I have one that's called Blush Matte and one that's called Maple Matte. Those are at the bottom here. And I will put on the one that is called Maple Matte. And then Mob Beauty introduced a couple of new shades of lipsticks that are part of their Spring Goth collection. So the first one is in a kind of a lighter color with a little bit of gray in it. So I'll try this one on first. So I guess that one does look a little bit on the goth side. I probably would only wear this with certain kinds of looks, but I don't think it looks bad on me. I think it looks all right, but it's definitely a little bit different of a vibe than what most lipsticks are giving me. And then the other version that they developed as part of the Spring Goth line, this is that red oxblood color that is often associated with goth. And I have worn this a few times, using it just very, very lightly with my fingers. So I'm going to try doing that here, just to show you what it's kind of like. So I feel like this shade really has a very strong personality. So I kind of enjoy wearing this product, and I think that this is the kind of lipstick that is becoming more popular in terms of it being an interesting color, and that the goth concept is actually becoming a little bit mainstream now. Now, I did a whole video on how Kosas took their regular lipsticks and they removed all the existing colors from the marketplace and they replaced them with all new colors. So most of the new colors are less dramatic, more wearable, quote-unquote, shades that I think that people that are in Kosas's target market of younger people are more likely to wear. So, for instance, this is one that's called High Cut, which is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk shade. So I'll put this on. So in particular, there's a shade that's called Stardust that was a lot of people's favorite lipstick, and that Kosas really didn't replace with anything that was similar to it, and that a lot of people are very unhappy about. So I've been kind of looking around trying to find things that would be pretty similar to that. So what I have on my hand here, at the top I have Stardust, and at the bottom I have a Business Casual from MAC, which is part of their Luster Glass line, which is a somewhat sheer type of a lipstick. I don't think these are exact, but they're fairly close. They're certainly closer than anything else that I have in my collection. So this is Business Casual from MAC. This is a much lighter formula than almost anything else that MAC makes. And then the last bullet lipstick that I have to show you today is from BK Beauty. So BK Beauty is a line of products that is primarily known for their brushes, and they do make very nice brushes. This line is owned by a woman who goes by Lisa J on YouTube, so she has a pretty big following. She's a former makeup artist from MAC, and so in addition to the brushes, she has an eyeshadow palette and a lipstick, and I think there's some lip pencils as well. So she has introduced a bunch of new shades in her lipsticks. I purchased this shade Confidence, which is a red shade, and it's really too bright for me, but I do kind of like this formula. It's mildly tastes like vanillin, but I think it feels pretty good to me. It tastes pretty good to me. I think these are quite nice lipsticks. So I would say that this is a very bright color lipstick, really brighter than maybe by all rights I should be wearing, but it's very hydrating, and it feels good on my lips. In terms of the quality of the formula, I'm kind of impressed with this. I wouldn't mind more of these shades. And then one more line of lipsticks that has a new shade out is the Bisou Bombs from Violette FR. So she introduced one new shade in the more casual lipsticks that she offers. And this is a bright red, and it is called Amour Fou. So in the past, the shades that she had were much more neutral and much more easygoing. I did find that formula to be a bit on the drying side. It does have a vanillin in it, so that's not attractive for everyone. But I found those lipsticks to be wearable. I did get some wear out of them. Another new lipstick formula that's a liquid lipstick is from Glossier. So this is called G-Suit. And I was kind of thinking when I tried this on that the effect of it reminded me a bit of the Lisa Eldridge True Velvet lipsticks. So I will be interested in trying this one in comparison to the Velveteen liquid lipstick that Lisa Eldridge is going to be releasing. This lipstick is available in 8 shades. It's $22. It's called a demi matte lipstick that delivers bold, buttery, smooth color in one swipe. And I think that compared to most of the liquid lipsticks that I've tried so far, I kind of like this one. So I think the finish of this is very nice. It does have that kind of velvety look to it. And it doesn't entirely dry down, but I think it does stay in place for quite a while, and it does feel fairly soft on my lips. It's a little bit softer than most of the liquid lipsticks that I have tried, but it feels fairly hydrating. It doesn't dry down entirely, and it doesn't stay on my lips as long as some liquid lipsticks, but I think it's a very nice product, and I think that the colors that I tried when I was in Sephora, they're very pretty colors. One additional new formula of lipstick that's been released recently is the Merit Shade Slick Tinted Lip Oil. These are $24, so they are listed as part of the Shade Slick line, which is a line of lip oils that have been around for a while, but this one seems to be a considerably different formula. So it's more sheer, it's more clear with just a bit of color in it. There are 4 shades. It contains red number 27, which is a color changing red colorings. Probably all of these shades will end up sort of a hot pink on your lips, but I will put some of this on. So while the previous lip oils from them really do seem like more like a lip oil, or this one seems more like a lip gloss. It's a little bit more glossy. It doesn't have any flavor to it. I think it's a little bit more sheer looking. I don't dislike it. I don't think there's anything about it to dislike. It doesn't taste bad to me. I don't think it looks bad to me, but I don't think it has the sophistication of their regular tinted lip oils. I haven't felt real drawn to wearing it, but I don't think it's a bad product. And next we have a product called Exa All Smiles Universal Glow Lip Oil for $15. So this is basically Credo's Haus brand, and this lip oil is available in 4 shades. I have this shade Dreamer, which is kind of a sparkly iridescent shade. They also have a sheer raspberry, a sheer cherry, and a sheer plum. I will put a little bit of it on. And I don't think the sparkliness of this is too much of an issue, but I do think that in terms of the taste and in terms of the feeling of this lip product, I feel like it's a little bit irritating to my lips, and it definitely doesn't taste like what I think it should taste like. I have not had that good of experiences with any of the products in the Exa line. I think that Credo is a pretty good curator in terms of choosing what products to feature on their site, and that a lot of those products are good. But in terms of the products that they create, I haven't been all that impressed with anything that I've tried from them. Another product that I have personally been disappointed with is the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm, which costs $24. It's fairly moisturizing on my lips, and I don't dislike the way that it looks, but I really don't like the taste very much. So I will put some of this on. I also am usually not that enthusiastic about things that are bright red, that are in a kind of a soft formula like this, because they tend to be kind of messy. But I don't think this one looks too bad for me, and it's not a lot of trouble to put on. But I really kind of don't like the taste. So there's a lot of vanillin again with it, but it has some kind of a weird undertaste that I just don't like very much. I do think it's pretty though. I also tried a product from Huda Beauty called the Cream Blush Lip and Cheek Stain. I found that it had a really strong vanillin flavor that seemed to be covering over ingredients in it that I did not find to be very appealing at all. There was some kind of a weird chemical taste underneath it. And the ingredient list is not really that clean. RMS has a line of new lip pencils. They are called the Go Nude Lip Pencils for $22, and they're available in 7 shades. Some of the lip pencils are brighter shades like red, and then other ones are actually more nude shades. I found that this product actually did irritate my lips, and it is from a factory in the Czech Republic, and so far I have found that pretty much every product, whether it's a lip pencil or a eye pencil that is marked as being from the Czech Republic and is presumably all from the same factory, I found that all of those products have been irritating to me. So I feel like there's something about that factory that is not right, maybe. Here's the color. I think it's called Summer Nude. I think that's a pretty color. I just wish that the lip pencil were not irritating my lips. And then in terms of skincare products, I'll mention a couple of them really briefly. I've been a big fan of the Lisa Eldridge makeup cleanser that she has just introduced. I found that that has been tremendously successful in helping me to get off any kind of makeup that I might be wearing. And so that has been a real game changer in terms of my willingness to wear foundations that contain silicone in them. Or it also has been very helpful in terms of getting off things like eyeshadow that is kind of stays on the eyes better than I would like. And in terms of setting sprays, in the past I had never found a setting spray that I thought was worth using at all. All of the ones that I had tried before either were irritating to my skin or did not seem to do anything relevant at all in terms of preserving makeup. I recently, over the past couple months, have found two setting sprays that actually have worked for me. The first one is from Lisa Eldridge and the second one is from Caliray. So if you're looking for a setting spray for your makeup, then these would be ones to try, and I feel pretty good about both of them. I don't really feel the need to use a setting spray personally, so I've gotten a very little use out of those products beyond just trying them out. But if you're looking for a setting spray, then those are the ones that I would recommend. And then finally, in my Westman Atelier video, I purchased the Westman Atelier Skin Activator Serum for $150, and I tried that out. The first couple times I tried it, I thought that it was okay on my skin, but then as time went on, the more times that I used it, and I stopped it about a half a dozen times, my skin started to become more and more irritated each time I used it. I think that maybe what could be the issue in that is that it does include this brown algae, which I fear could be contaminated with cyanobacteria, but I really have no idea what the issue was for me, just that I wasn't able to tolerate that product at all. And so that is it for today, and it's a good thing because the sun is almost set. So thank you very much for watching this video. If there are any products that you have tried that you would like us to know about, good or bad, then please let me know. Or if you've tried any of the products in this video and you disagree with my assessment, then please for sure let us know about that as well. Thanks very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. Coco and I love you very much. Goodbye.